Hey everyone, Bruce Morris from the Tab Group here. Welcome to TabbFOURM's Market Structure Wave. Earlier this month, Tab Group celebrated our annual list of TabbFOURM Nova Award honorees at a reception at the Tribeca Grill in New York City. The Novas honor the financial industry's ongoing commitment to technology-driven innovation by recognizing 40 organizations for their outstanding recent and sustained achievements. Today, we are very fortunate to have one of our TabbFOURM Nova honorees, Damien Handzy, Managing Director for Confluence Analytics, join us on Market Structure Wave. Hey, Damien, congratulations to Confluence on being selected as a TabbFOURM Nova honoree, and welcome to TabbFOURM.
Thanks, Bruce. It's a pleasure to be here.
So Damien, to get us started today, can you talk about how Confluence has created a sustained culture of technological innovation?
Sure, happy to. So I'll say it started with Confluence's founding. Back in the early 90s, Confluence was the first firm to automate NAV calculations for mutual funds and the automated dissemination of that information. Right. So if you remember back then, NAVs were published in the back of the Wall Street Journal, for example. Those NAVs were all calculated by Confluence products. And in fact, they still are today. Not that they're published in newspapers anymore. But it goes back to kind of the founding principles. Along the way, we've acquired a number of companies that themselves have been innovators in technology. So, for example, QuantLib is the world's largest open source financial library of analytical capabilities. And the founder of QuantLib works for us. We take advantage of that open source, the power of the open source environment, and incorporate those pricing functions, that library of analytical routines into our products. And that continues to grow as the industry grows, especially using that open source approach. Style Analytics, another one of the acquisitions we've made back in the 90s, kind of invented a completely new way of looking at factor analysis that has become a standard for manager research in equities to understand how different firms invest, what style they use to invest in that space. I think the key to this is that we do not simply have a whole bunch of technologists sitting in one room while business people sit in another room. The technologists and the business people interact with each other and with clients every single day. So having that interaction with the clients and that feedback loop between what does the business want, what can the technology provide, both of those are important questions to answer. Right? Just because you can do something doesn't mean you should. And just because you should do something doesn't mean you can. But when you have both of those people working together, that's where the magic happens. And I'll say, finally, the key to it is having lighthouse clients. So one or two clients who really work with you closely to innovate a new capability. And that's kind of how Confluence has always done it.
Oh, that's great. Thanks for sharing. So let's talk about technology trends in the market. Where do you see technology headed in the capital markets? Are there any specific technologies? I mean, everyone seems to be talking about AI these days, but machine learning, the cloud, even blockchain that Confluence is incorporating into its product lineup?
Yeah, there obviously everyone's been talking about AI for, well, especially since ChatGPT came out, but even the last several years. We really have been careful not to talk about it until we actually had something. We launched our first AI product last year, which it takes advantage of large language models to tackle the problem of, let's say, reconciliation across the various publications that various funds make, making sure that the numbers that are quoted in one publication or regulatory filing are compatible and are accurate compared to the publications in other places. So that reconciliation effort. We work in a rather friction-full industry, and despite a lot of the innovation in the investment approach, quant managers, high frequency trading, everything going electronic, T+1. Despite all of those advances, there's still a lot of friction in our industry. So using things like large language models, like generative AI, to tackle some of those problems, that's kind of where we see technology heading in capital markets. We have created an innovations lab and that's where we launched this reconciliation, this AI powered reconciliation product that we now have, and where we are working on how do we tackle things like using AI for distilling the analytics that we produce into finding new patterns for clients, what actually matters, helping them ask better questions. So, I mean, the promise of computation in investment management, in capital markets, is not just to automate what humans already do, but it's to eliminate the stuff that doesn't matter and help us focus in on what does matter, right? And so yes, large language models, generative AI, data ingestion. There's a whole new plethora of problems when it comes to reading a lot of the documents to understand what investments are being made, especially in the private markets. Those are the kinds of things that we think in the near term technology is really going to be able to tackle.
Oh, great. It sounds very exciting. So without giving away any trade secrets, can you share a little bit about what's next for Confluence?
Sure. So a couple of things. So I already mentioned this AI-powered reconciliation tool. We're taking that to the next level. We're using that same reconciliation capability. We're tackling kind of private equity documents, right? The source material, because those come in all different sorts of shapes, sizes, flavors, non-standardization. And that's a great use of AI to learn from the patterns that are in there and be able to tease out information. So data ingestion, which really today is a manual process, right? Because humans have to read those documents to pull out the information. And that's a place where AI can really add efficiency into the process so that humans can concentrate on what humans are good at while machines are doing all of that kind of grunt work. Modularity and flexibility in terms of how our clients interact with our systems. APIs, Snowflake are obviously a place where it allows our clients to use us more surgically, so that instead of buying an entire product with everything that it has to offer, just buy the pieces and components that they really want. As an example, one of the things that we just launched last year that we're continuing to invest in is taking it was a product called Prism, taking all of the data that we have about how managers are invested into by institutional investors, and giving managers a view on what is working, what are the trends, who's getting investments, who's losing investments, how much are firms paying for those investments, and where can they position themselves. So rather than just processing data for our clients, taking advantage of that and giving a completely different view of that, again, using some of those modern technology to deliver that to the market. Again, the key of all of that innovation in this space is not technology for technology's sake. It is the combination of the business side and the technology side working together to solve actual problems for clients. That's the key, and that has always been our key, and that's going to continue to be our key.
Yeah, great strategy. So Damien, thanks so much for sharing your time and insights with TabbFOURM today. And thanks for reminding me about looking up mutual fund prices in the back of the Wall Street Journal. I mean, I haven't thought about that in forever. And for all our viewers who may have missed the TabbFOURM Nova article featuring Confluence and all the other TabbFOURM Nova honorees, there'll be a big red button at the end of this video that'll take you right to the article. Thanks for stopping by for what was hopefully an educational and entertaining ride on TabbFOURM's Market Structure Wave. Hey, thanks again, Damien.
Thank you, Bruce.